welcome to my channel, all returning subscribers, any new subscribers. This is Dark Feminine Divine here with a full moon read for the Sagittarius Full Moon. Just like the sign of Sagittarius is depicted by the resilient archer kind of knocking his arrows and letting them fly. This is going to be a full moon under which it's really going to test your willpower and the strength of your desires. It will require you to mean what you say what you mean, to power through obstacles and not let them be the excuse any longer for why you have not done certain things. And I definitely feel that from my end. So we are going to get started with a tarot read, and also I'll try and wrap it up with a little oracle read just for any additional guidance that the signs might need. I will go through all 12 signs, and just stay tuned for your reading if that sounds good to you. Please, if you like your reading, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all of that good noise. Anything, any engagement really helps to push the channel, so I'd really appreciate it if you could do that for me. And without further ado, let's get started. So we're going to start off with our Aries read. I would say for my Aries people out there, I definitely get the feeling that since the last time that we spoke, you've kind of been living in a little bit of a fantasy. Definite themes of nostalgia here. And the reason why you have felt like you have to rely on old hopes and dreams is because of this inverted sun. It's kind of like focusing on the good times is giving you the fuel that you need to power through the bad times. And I think these two inverted cards kind of go hand in hand. With this Six of Wands showing up in the reverse, it's a very clear indication to me that Aries has been feeling like they are taking some definite L's, like there are significant losses that have been occurring in their lives, and they're just wondering, like, when does it end? When is it my turn? I think because this is more like past to future for me, the way that I'm viewing like this Queen of Swords in the reverse, it's kind of like you are resisting moving from a more fiery element, which is all about action. It's all about doing. These are very fire energy cards. It's kind of like get out of the Aries fire sign of doing, and it's like reflect, think. It's really a reading to me that's like fire is not going to get you what you want as an Aries. So it's like, what do we have to look forward to? Emotions are heavy. You are kind of stuck in past victories or like longing for the past, but that's already happened and you can't bring that around again. Yeah, you're gonna have to step into your Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords is very analytical. It's not about how you feel at this point. I mean, you've already reflected on that, okay? So I'm not sitting up there telling people like, oh, your feelings don't matter. It's like, okay, they matter, and then what? So Queen of Swords is really going to require Aries people to step out of their comfort zones. If you are a woman, great. It's very feminine, air energy, you know, kind of like a very authoritative, motherly type of energy that it's asking you to step into. But if you're a man, you know, you can still be authoritative, but I feel like when women wield authority, they kind of have to like, it's not as direct and as harsh as a King of Swords can be, because like that's how the face cards kind of read to me. It's kind of like an escalation. So it's like water of air. If you are a male, it's kind of like you're going to need to say what you mean what you say, but also make sure that it's in conjunction with your feelings. Don't take your feelings completely out of it, but do make sure that you communicate. If there are people around you, because the Six of Wands is all about kind of like having the crowd adore you, right? If there are people who are not showing up for you in your corner, communicate. Like, I need you to show up for me, because Aries, we're big on showing up for people who need it, just like how we want that for us. Tell people your desires. Then if they don't act, then you can feel some type of way, you know. And rather than moaning about your lack of fortune, really take your time to come up with a game plan. The Queen of Swords can also be a good indication of the type of person that you're going to need to get out of a situation. So not only is it asking you to step out of your emotions and to think analytically, but also if you can think of a motherly or feminine type of person who just doesn't take any nonsense from anyone and who's all about her, you know, she's all about her business and she has great ideas. If that's a person who's like there for you already, lean on them. They're here to assist. And push comes to shove, show up for yourself. No more crying over spilled milk. And then I have a oracle message for my Aries, and it's kind of just a reiteration of the energy that I felt was happening. It says collaborative dreaming. There's a bunch of faces, and it's kind of like, in order to achieve your goals in this Sagittarius full moon, you are going to have to power through. You're going to have to rely on the people around you to see the results that you want. And that's not a negative thing. Sometimes we can't get what we want through our efforts and our efforts alone. Sometimes we just need an extra push. And that's okay, Aries. Sometimes others need to support us more than, you know, we need to just try and power through everything alone. So that is my advice for Aries. I hope that you liked your reading. All right, next up we have Taurus. It's actually funny because I got very similar cards that like popped out, but I had to put them back. So for my Taurus out there, I really feel like with this Five of Coins in the reverse, you've really kind of been hung out to dry financially. You're really going through it, and it's kind of like the reason behind it is just a lot of gossip, I think. This could be on like a very personal level, like if you have your own business or whatever. It's like maybe people have been talking negatively about the things materially that you're trying to gain, or it could just be like an office setting where it's kind of like you against the world. It's kind of got like this one figure in the middle, and like all these swords, like people turn their back on you almost. And it can kind of be read that way in a traditional 5 of coins too, kind of like you're left out in the snow, and you know, now it's like you have to pick up all of these broken pieces. But I will say that for my Taurus, it's kind of like they are telling you you're gonna have to go backwards as far as like zodiac energy, and you're really gonna have to step into your Emperor. Emperor has really strong associations with Aries, especially with these ram's horns on the side of his throne, and this one has them in front too. Like, no nonsense. It's like, okay, so what? You said X, Y, and Z about me, but that's not gonna stop what you have going on. And so for my Taurus out there, I really feel like you're gonna have to kick it into high gear and really show them that you are a master of your craft, because you are. And also with this 3 of Swords coming in, I almost feel like, because it's a it's drawing parallels for me with the 5 of Swords in this spread. I really feel like my Taurus out there, in order to get your house in order, to, you know, get out of this financial crisis that you might be experiencing, you're really gonna have to I want to say it's kind of like you're gonna have to break some hearts. It might even be your own a little bit. I really feel like whatever or whoever was talking about you the worst, or whoever like backstabbed you the worst, is someone who is very close to you. I mean, but isn't it always like that? Like, if there were nobody, they wouldn't really be able to hurt you like this. But I feel like it's like, in order to make a turnaround, you're really gonna have to be comfortable with kind of cutting off this dead relationship. And that's hard, and that kind of leads back to this Emperor energy that's asking Taurus to step into. It's kind of like, in order to be the master, you're going to have to be okay with mastering your own heart first, and telling people, no matter how much you love or have loved them in the past, like, if you're no longer serving me, you have to get on immediately, expeditiously. Let's see what messages we have. Heaven sent. I really feel like, in terms of you and in relation to this spread, my dear Taurus, that whatever project that you're working from, this kind of like is all crown chakra energy. It's kind of like, this is a direct mission for you. This is a part of your soul purpose. You are supposed to be doing these things that you are doing, and even though it's hard right now, and even though people are not supportive of you, I mean, they hate you because they ain't you, right? They can't do what you're doing. They can't see the vision that you see, because you're tapped in and they're not, and that's okay. But one thing you can't allow the naysayers around you to do is to divert you from your path, and to make you feel like you are not living in your purpose, because you are. Just because it's your mission doesn't mean that it's going to be easy. Anything truly worth having is not going to be so easy. But when you climb to the top of the mountain, you're going to look down on all of them, and you truly will be in your Emperor energy. So just remember that and stay strong. All right, next up we have Gemini. So these are the cards that I got for Gemini. Normally, I look at the 9 of coins in reverse as like financial loss. And if that applies, you know, go ahead with that. But I kind of got from everything else in this spread, and especially with how many cups are showing, like 4 cups. It's kind of giving me, not that you don't have money necessarily, but it's like you've been lounging in this garden for so long, and it's like to a point of stagnation. Like you have material comfort, but what are you going to do with it? And especially when I see like this 4 of cups right next to it, it's 4 of cups is usually like, oh, you need to take a rest, but now it's kind of like, come on, get up, do something. And I think it's a little scary to Gemini, if I'm gonna be honest, because like the the Page of Cups is very emotionally immature. It is a sign that hasn't quite made it as to like emotional maturity. They're just getting used to the world, and they're discovering the things that feed their passions, that make them feel good. And I feel like for my Gemini out there who this reading is about, it's like during this Sagittarius full moon that's asking you to be active and to pursue your dreams, I really feel like it's asking you to spend time with yourself and figure out what you want. I will say also with this 10 of Cups, it's saying to me that you're going to need the community around you at large to kind of like rally around you and to give you that inspiration. You are receptive to it at this moment, but maybe you don't know exactly where to look, or you know, you've just been too busy lounging around or not making any forward momentum to really care as much as you should. And so it's like, no, lean on your elders, go back. You know, if you have to talk to your parents, talk to your siblings, talk to even a friend that you're very close to, but like other people who have more emotional experience, or like find a person that goes to their job every day on time, they love the heck out of their job. Go find them and ask them to give you a little bit of their inspiration. You need someone to kind of give you a push to get you motivated. And then also with this King of Cups, it just shows me the potential for what you could be. Don't just stop at asking for the advice. If you need a full-on mentor, with the 9 of Coins, like, you should have the funds to pursue that. Like, have them, if they're willing to walk you through it, like, hey, how do you do this? Because right now you're not doing anything, and I think it'd be worth it to at least try something that someone else has done that made them happy. And this is like a completed emotional journey with this King of Cups, but it's, with it being in the reverse, I feel like it'll be so easy for you to just take the advice and just sit on it. Take it and move forward, and don't fight the emotional maturity that you're being called to, because it's necessary for the next leg of your journey, Gemini. And let's see, what messages do we have for you? What messages do we have for you, Gemini? And let's see, what messages do we have for you? What messages do we have for you, Gemini? And let's see, what messages do we have for you, Gemini? And let's see, what messages do we have for you, Gemini? And let's see, what messages do we have for you, Gemini? And let's see, what messages do we have for you, Gemini? And let's see, what messages do we have for you, Gemini? And let's see, what messages do we have for you, Gemini? And let's see, what messages do we have for you, Gemini? And let's see, what messages do we have for you, Gemini? And let's see, what messages do we have for you, Gemini? And let's see, what messages do we have for you, Gemini? And let's see, what messages do we have for you, Gemini? And let's see, what messages do we have for you, Gemini? And let's see, what messages do we have for you, Gemini? And let's see, what messages do we have for you, Gemini? And let's see, what messages do we have for you, Gemini? And let's see, what messages do we have for you, Gemini? And let's see, what messages do we have for you, Gemini? And let's see Release the dark wound, let love live. And that makes sense because it's all like water. It's kind of like the fish that was wounded being released back into the water. And, you know, you've got like a little fish in this cup too. So it's kind of like, whereas this page of cups kind of like snatched this fish and put it in the cup, now it's asking you to release. You know, that's a part of your growth. Maybe you're holding on. Maybe that fish is like a desire that you had in your youth. Something that you've been putting all of your energy to, like, oh, it has to happen now, and it still hasn't happened, and you just keep like disappointing yourself and waiting for that to happen. Shift gears a little bit. Release the wound, the sorrow of disappointed expectations, and pick another fish. All right, next up we have Cancer. My Cancer, in terms of your goals, you are just setting out on a new path. Three of Wands is like the very beginning of a journey. Now that you've made your decision to go, it's like the world is your oyster, but also there's a lot of uncharted land out in front of you. So you're kind of like taking your time with things, and you're kind of seeing where the journey is going to take you. There's a lot of fire in this spread, and then there's a lot of coins, and it's kind of like up, down, down, up. It's like ultimately you're going to start strong and you're going to finish strong, because you're finishing with this Queen of Pentacles, right? It's all about kind of like luxuriating in your success, kind of, you know, being able to enjoy your riches. And I feel like even though that's the end goal, these two steps in between are going to be really, really crucial for you. I know you're a water sign, but I feel like in order for you to get the most out of your journey and your momentum forward, you're really going to have to step into fire energy. You're going to have to put on this Knight of Wands energy, where it's kind of like you are brave and you're bold, and I see like a reflection in the background of this one and this one. It's kind of like both are staring into kind of like this desolate waste, and they're like, and this one is kind of looking into the abyss, like, when is this journey going to be over? And I feel like, and you'll know when this happens, when you really start to like lose your way and you wonder if you have what it takes to kind of like power through. And, you know, in line kind of with this Sagittarius full moon energy, it's like, okay, now what? How do I power through? How do I get to the end of the rainbow? And this is, you have to keep your eye on the prize. Know that even when you're looking at and you can't see the end of the tunnel, that it's just on the other side. And I feel like when you first get started, I feel like these two groups of cards are kind of like reflections of each other. It's like you're going to start strong with this fire energy, but then there's going to be some burdens financially, especially, but it could just be like overall physical loss, or things don't come to fruition as fast as you want them to, because this is a new idea. It's the Ace of Pentacles. It's like you're just getting started and you're going to want things right away, especially with all this fire showing up, right? But it's like, don't get impatient, because the Knight of Wands can be a very impatient person, like now. But if it comes too fast, you're not going to have laid the groundwork properly in order to achieve your success and keep it. and that's what you want. You don't just want success for now, you want to keep it. So don't be put off by the journey there. And it says big, bold vision. Yeah, that makes sense. Your vision is monumental. It's going to really push the boundaries in your life and maybe even the lives of the people that your project or your goals are, gonna be seen by. It's a new vision for all involved. It might be the Cancer is working on something that has never been seen before. So maybe people aren't going to be on board with it right this second. It's going to feel like 40 years in a desert for you. But when you come out of it, it's going to be like you're surrounded by all this riches. Oftentimes, it's not until you complete your dreams and people see the finished product that they can appreciate the genius behind the idea. So don't be upset that people can't see the vision that you see. It's not meant for them to see because they're not meant to complete it. Okay, for my Leo, I really feel like my Leo, this is a situation that is very much between you and another person. It's funny because this King of Wands actually has like a lion head on his staff, and it's representative of a fire sign energy. And whatever the disagreement is between you two, it is definitely in and around your finances, and not just your finances, but it's like this was a collaboration between the two of you and it has gone south. I won't say definitively that this is for two men, but if this is a female Leo who's watching, you are very much in masculine fire energy, where it's like you're like the master of your fire. You are no longer, the person who is inspired by the flames. Like, you created the flames, right? Like, this is a masterful, powerful fire energy. The King of Wands is like the master of his craft, right? So you probably led this project, but if you did not, and this water sign person was the head of the project, he should never have been. Or this masculine energy, this masculine water energy should never have been leading the project if he was the leader. Your ideas are correct and you want the credit, and it's kind of like the hiccups are coming on their end, not yours. This person could be a water sign, like a Cancer or a Pisces or Scorpio. But if it's not, this is someone who's very immature. Knight of Cups is like, he's not all there. He's still very brash, kind of like adolescent, hot-tempered emotions. And it's like they make snap judgments. And fire signs, they can act quickly too, but it's from a place of like doing, not necessarily because, oh, I felt sad on a Tuesday. Like, no offense to any water signs I know, like, that's y'all. But like sometimes like that's what this person is doing. They're an immature water energy. They have not mastered their emotions. You've mastered your fire. You're showing up as a king. They're just a little boy, or someone who operates like a little boy, like throwing a temper tantrum like every time they don't get their way in this collaboration, and that's not a way to make money. So I really feel like even if like this is a friend of yours, or maybe it's like a family member, it would be wise for you, if you can, you take the reins, you lead this project, you lead the vision to get what you want. And if you cannot do that, it might be time for you to look forward to this Ace of Cups and maybe, you know, go into business with someone who's a little more ready to think like a grown-up, think and act like a grown-up. Let's see. Shock of the new. Oh. It's kind of got like a music keyboard motif in the background, and with these sunflowers, it leads to me really thinking like this is you, this kind of like fiery energy. Sunflowers are kind of big in fire sign symbols for me, but and it's also got like this lit up throat chakra. I'm not sure if this Leo person watching is like in the music industry or something, or the venture has to do with like public speaking, but like your voice is going to be big and you need to get used to using it. Don't just let people run roughshod over you. Embrace your creativity. Use your voice, even if you can't sing very well, but you know, during this business it requires you to like speak up. Feel free to speak up. People, they have this conception like Leos are so big and bold and brash and like they never think about other people, and that's not true. Like Leos can be really reserved, like, but still very prideful on the inside, and you know, let a little bit more of that seep out into the world. Be proud of your music, be proud of your voice and the power behind your words, and everyone else will have no choice but to follow along, or you know, go their separate ways. But either way, your voice is going to be very powerful in resolving this situation. All right, moving right along to Virgo. I gotta say, when I pulled these cards and quite a few of them just jumped out at me, I was flabbergasted. Oh boy, for my Virgo out there, I just want to give my condolences. I'm not sure if this death is of a physical nature for you, or if it is like a spiritual death that has occurred, but it's like whatever you held dear in the past, whatever that you were hoping to accomplish, it either had to, it just didn't work out. Or I almost feel like, though, with the extreme heaviness and the fact that these are all major arcana cards that I have in front of me, just like this is a huge life event for you, and I don't feel like, again, this could just be like on a physical mundane level, like maybe that a job opportunity or something, a goal that you were working towards, you know, because that's kind of like what I have in mind. Keeping in theme with the Sagittarius full moon, but I just feel like Virgo had like an intense experience with death, and not just that, but followed up with the star in reverse, kind of like a loss of faith and hope. And I know that for Virgo, and you're kind of like my anxious sign, sorry, that's just the association that I kind of have going forward, but like how analytical and how harsh and self-critical. Forget the criticisms that you have of others. You are first and foremost very hard on yourself. Like, you really took this death, this heartache to heart, and it caused you to lose hope. And now it's kind of like you've just been living as a hermit, like a shell of yourself. You are aimless, and you are searching and trying to find your way. And if that applies to you, Virgo, please know, like, literally from the depths of my heart, like, if this was a read on anyone like in front of me, I would be telling them the same thing too. Like, you really, really, really have like all of my love, and I really want you to know that even in the deepest night and you really think like there's no way out, just like this hermit, like, he's not just wandering alone aimlessly. He's looking for the path forward, and he holds the light. He is the light in the darkness, and you are the healer for yourself. Others may help you and give you the tools, but it's up to you to decide to heal and to become whole again. I feel like there was a lot of heartache, a lot of pain, disappointment, and now it's like a big question. What are you moving on to? The Chariot is forward momentum, but it's kind of like it's a 7, so it's kind of like not certain where you'll go, and the horses could be leading you in 2 different directions. And I feel like for you, my dear Virgo, it's kind of gonna be like the choice: do you stay in misery, or do you move on and accept what has happened? Beyond the mind, the heart beats. I feel like for my Virgo, because you are so analytical, literally, your key phrase is I analyze. I think that it's asking you to move beyond your mind, to stop over-analyzing what has occurred, and to accept it. It is calling you out of your mental mind and into your heart space, to focus on the fact that you are still living and you are still breathing, and that as long as your heart beats, there's a way forward. Just because the world came crashing down does not mean that the world ended. It was just that old world, and now you have a choice whether you want to stay in the ruins of the world that was, or if you want to move into greener pastures. But that is entirely a decision up to you. I know it's not easy, because 4 major arcanas, good God, that's a lot. This is a big, big time for Virgos, and I hope that it's not a lot of people who are dealing with a physical death, and that it's just like an end to maybe a goal or a plan. But if it is, please, don't feel like therapy is not necessary for you. Therapy, a good therapy, is not the goal in to judge you or to figure out what is wrong with you. It's to go through your emotions, to process them, to release them, and then to figure out coping mechanisms to move past what's happened. And I really, really hope that you are able to hear this message and to find the catalyst for your soul growth. And I really, really, really want to reiterate for my Virgo that you have all my love and support during this time, because it is going to be intense. And unfortunately, with the Chariot, the only way past this point is through it. Okay, for my Libra, I think that it stands out to me that out of all four of these cards that I have in front of me, the only one that I have that's upright is this Hanged Man, which reiterates the message of the other cards, I think, where it's like the ultimate takeaway for Libra is that even though this is a time where you're going to want to power through a lot of things, it's kind of like telling you don't do that, or at least to know that there's going to be delays and to think carefully about the decisions that you're going to make. With this 10 of coins, it could be two things. It could be that my Libra out there who's watching this has been looking forward to a handout, or like maybe an elder in your family who used to give money, or maybe not even just an elder, but like someone who gave generously in the past, but they are in the reverse, so it's kind of like they're walking that back. Or it could be you, the Libra, and that's a good bet, because Libra is kind of like a peacemaker at all costs, and it's showing up in the reverse, so it's like maybe you should not give as much as you've been given, or either way, like money flow for you is coming to a halt one way or another. And then with this 4 of Swords in the reverse, it's kind of like a period of rest and relaxation, and not, taking on a bunch of burdens, really stopping and smelling the roses and deep introspection. But with it in the reverse, it's like you've been fighting doing that for the longest. And then also you're an air sign too, so this is like super important with it showing up with all these swords. You've really been operating in a Knight of Swords energy, kind of brash. You're powering through on this eagle, and you're like forcing a change. You're like doing 110%. You're going like 90 miles an hour on the freeway, and it's kind of like stop, please slow down, you're doing too much. And it's like as you fight this message, you're at risk of burning out, you're at risk of giving too much, you're at risk of you're just at risk of doing too much, of giving too much, of letting your emotional well run dry, of letting your finances run dry. And it's time to stop. For my Libra, take the hint of the universe. If it has not made you stop already, stop before life makes you stop. Because energy is not a limitless resource. You showed up. It says the sacred fool. It's kind of like you have been, it really sticks out to me with this puppet. Like you can either be the puppeteer or you can be the puppet. And I feel like for Libra, it's kind of like they've been dancing on the strings of the puppeteer. Like you have things that you need to accomplish, sure, but it's like you're chasing too many strands at the moment, and you're not giving 100% to any of them by, you know, trying to pour into all these cups. So for my Libra, slow down. I know it's going to feel like everything's coming at you all at once, but you can't power through everything. You're going to have to like take it in bits and pieces. You're going to have to take it in chunks. You can't throw money at it to make it go away. You can't, like, some problems are going to have to be dissected and you're going to have to approach them slowly. If money is the issue, know that other sources of money will open up to you as you kind of retreat. If you are the one giving too much to others financially, pull back your support, really reinvest some of that money into your own pursuits. And if someone else has stopped being maybe so generous to you, that's fine. Allow that source of money to move on, and then you restructure your life around your current parameters. Don't allow your impatience to get the better of you. But that is my advice for Libra. Okay, on to Scorpio. Okay, so I've got like 2 up, 2 down. I think this is a message for my Scorpio. During this during this Sagittarius full moon and the weeks that come after, if you have not already been made aware, I think the Scorpio is going to become aware of a liar in their midst. With the 7 of Swords, I know it can mean other things. It can mean like resourcefulness or like picking up and moving on in secret, but I don't feel like, I don't know. I just don't get that connotation from it personally. For my Scorpio out there, I really feel like you are dealing with a liar, and you're gonna find out soon if you have not already found out. And now your duty is kind of like figuring out what to do about the situation. So for my Scorpio out there, you're really being called to temperance. Temperance is all about the conjunction of mind and body, and, you know, soul and all that. And it's kind of like an equalization of forces, of opposites. And so I feel like for Scorpio, with you being such a watery sign and kind of like you can be very vengeful, I feel like it's really telling you to like not to react to their betrayal right away, which Scorpio can also somewhat paradoxically be very good at. So it's telling you to operate from that space of being able to like wait for the right moment to strike, to call them out on it. But also, just for me, I'm not sure if other people get this when they look at temperance, but it kind of shows up to me when it's in conjunction with other cards. It can kind of be like a symbol to me, like, please stop, take a beat, and don't drink so much. And I feel like that leads to the two cards that are in the reverse, and I feel like they have more to do with the other party who lied to you. The reason I feel like it's also giving me a message to maybe not drink so much or not to like indulge in good times is because this Four of Cups, it's actually got like these people and like they're holding these grapes to make wine with. It's kind of like a mini celebration, and I feel like for this betrayer or this person who's been holding secrets, this is giving me like frenemy vibes. Like, this is a person that you probably already drink with a lot, and or you just hang out with, you let loose around. This is not a safe person to do that with any longer, and it's almost kind of like a message to me. If you have not already found this person, or you don't know exactly who I'm talking about, like, just go ghost for like a week or two until like the new moon, and see who has a problem, see who becomes vocal about you not doing that, and starts like like to all the friend group, like, oh, they don't hang around no more, oh, they never want to go out, I heard they don't want to go out because of blah, and like let them expose themselves. And also with this High Priestess, I really feel like it's a very intuitive card, which is perfect for my watery Scorpio. Like, if this person is not already revealed to you, and that's a big if, you know, but you've ignored it for a long time. Like, oh, this could possibly be my friend, this could possibly be friend. It's friend. So I'm so sorry, but that's why it's so important when we're manifesting things for ourselves and we're trying to make forward momentum. Look, I didn't even get the sentence out. It says, dream a beautiful dream. I was just about to say, like, when you are like dreaming up a new world for yourself, when you're putting in the legwork to make huge momentous transitions in your life, it's either going to gather your tribe around you, or it's going to bring the haters out in full force. And I feel like this hater is being triggered by your rapid growth. And just watch who says slick shit around you every time you talk about doing something better for yourself, or doing something that, oh, so you couldn't possibly be doing something that big. Yeah, you could be. They don't know because they never thought that they could achieve anything. But don't let their negativity make you feel like you got to put a pause or stop to what you're doing. You keep doing your stuff. Just you keep working your craft. You keep blending opposites together to create something better. You do what you were meant to do, and allow this snake to come forward and publicly identify themselves, and then just watch it fall around them, because there's no room for this naysayer in your midst when you are working on such a fabulous vision of the future. There's just no room for it. If you haven't found out who this is, like, check your friend group. This is someone who's around a lot, and in very casual settings where like you're drinking and maybe saying more than you should about your upcoming plans. Don't do it. Zip it. Maybe go ghost until about the new moon, and by then, if they haven't outed themselves, they should out themselves. Alright, star of the show, Sagittarius, for the Sagittarius full moon. Woo-hoo. you're really coming in hot. With this Ace of Wands, you're really living in your fire energy. This is going to be a very significant couple of weeks for you in terms of really setting out, and I feel like the goals that you are going to be accomplishing, it's not going to be like an end of a cycle for you, but it's going to be like definitely beginnings. Unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, let's just go with fortunate, you are having to start over again because of things that happened to you in the past. Maybe the last few months for Sagittarius have not been so free, and I know y'all hate that. I love my Sagittarius, I do. But you know, you've felt this Eight of Swords energy, this feeling of being trapped, but also, you know, knowing that you're half horse. Like, I should be able to run the wild hills of, I don't know geography like that, but you know what I'm saying. Like, I'm half horse, I should be able to cut loose and be free, and you have not felt that in a long time. So now it's like, this is the kick in the pants to finally do that. And also, I feel like for you though, and this is a big one for my Sagittarius, I know you have no problem theoretically doing it, but a lot of people still resist this kind of change. But with it showing up in conjunction with the Tower, and just know that you starting this new venture and this new path to success, my Sag, the world's gonna crumble a little bit. Maybe not a complete coming down of the Tower, but it's definitely not going to be functional anymore. In order to get from point A to point B, your world might have to completely change. You might have to change friend circles. You might have to change routines. You might even have to change new jobs. Like, you might have to change new creative pursuits. Maybe you've been in school for a minute and, you know, you're picking a new major. Like, it's kind of like big starting from the ground up energy for you in this full moon season. So just embrace it. No, you did not do anything wrong. Sometimes the thing about the Tower, right, and I personally don't mind the Tower, I actually kind of like it. The Tower is built on a narrow foundation. It's a shitty tower and it needs to come down. But if you don't let it come down, it's like the lightning going to strike either way. Like, you had the opportunity, I think, in the past to recreate yourself and to pursue this vision, but now it's like you don't have the choice. It's kind of like the universe coming along and like knocking all the hotels off the board in Monopoly. Like, start over, new game. And that's okay. And if there's any sign that can rise to that kind of challenge, it's Sag. You are the philosophers. You're like very altruistic and you're very passionate. And just like that bow and arrow analogy, like, you are the arrow. You wholeheartedly and with great determination and willpower and clarity go after what you want. So stay in that energy. Know that the past setbacks were just that, temporary setbacks. It's not anything that you did wrong. It's just a season in your life. Also, and this is just a little bit of a warning, as you pursue your goals, Sagittarius is not just the doer of the zodiac, but they have it's not a coincidence that their symbology is tied up in the image of Chiron. He was a centaur who taught and healed a lot of Greek mythological figures. He is a philosopher and he's a leader, and he teaches others how to think. And so now what to think, how to think. And I think with this Hierophant in the reverse coming up, it's really warning you that as you pursue this goal, don't step into the hubris that can come with being a leader of men. Teach them how to think. When you step into your new venture and when you're interacting with the people in this new sphere of life, teach them how to think. Don't teach them what to think. Don't be so rigid. Don't be this Pope-like figure. Lead them by example. As they see you hitting all your targets, they're going to want to know how you did that. You don't have to browbeat them. You don't have to feel like you're leading horses to water. Like, you know what I'm saying? They'll come naturally when they see how rich your life becomes. So, lead by example. Don't feel like you have to force other people to see things your way. It's going to be hard for people to see your vision until it unfolds, but it's going to be marvelous when it does. Oh. And inspiration. What did I say? You are going to inspire people, but you are not going to inspire them directly. You want to inspire people. That's why you were born under the sign of the philosopher. You want to inspire people. But it's going to be like how she's looking up at these bees. They're going to look up at you in awe, and they're going to want to follow you. You do not have to force them to follow your way. I hope that helps. Okay, next up we got Capricorn. First things first, Capricorn is really at a crossroads in this Sag full moon. It's kind of like, it's funny because he's actually holding a full moon in his hand too, and it's like around this time my Capricorn is really stuck. It's like, do I stay or do I go? It's kind of like, which path are you going to take? And then as I pulled more cards, I really feel like the thing that the thing that Capricorn is really going to be tasked with, the thing that they're kind of like split between, and this can go for male and female Capricorns, you know, pick whichever one suits you best. But I really feel like with this Seven of Wands energy, it's kind of like you're powering through with determination towards your goals in life. And it's a pretty positive card, but it does require work and long hours, work, determination, all that, which Capricorn has the power and strength to do. But then also you have the Empress. Oh no, I'm sorry. You have the Queen of Cups in the reverse. And that's not a comfortable card to draw for Capricorn, because I don't know why I wanted to say the Empress, because I guess when I picked it up, it almost seemed to me like a pregnancy. If that is you, you know, maybe congratulations. But if that's what you want. But for Capricorns, it's like, I feel like when it comes to your goals, it's kind of like between, do I work, and do I power towards my physical goals, or do I feed my heart? Do I maybe step into parenthood? Let's say parenthood, because this could be for male or female, right? But definitely, like, do I nurture another life? That's what I feel like it's saying to me. And that's the choice that you have in front of you, Capricorn. And unsatisfactorily, you can do whatever you feel like doing. For my Capricorn, I feel like it's all going to come down to money for you, which you are a great sign at making money. But I feel like for you, you are going to have to weigh the books on this one. And that might seem a little calculated to people, but I'm talking to my Capricorns. Like, you're one of the greatest money-making signs out there. Is just the facts. And this is not a decision that you should make lightheartedly. What is going to feed your income? Because I feel like with this Six of Coins coming up in the reverse, it's kind of like this is the fear that you have towards this decision. And all of these cards are in the reverse, so I don't feel like this is fully a decision that you're going to complete within this cycle. It could be, but don't feel like you have to jump on this. But I feel like for you, it's going to require you to sit down and really go over it. Say to yourself, okay, if I'm going to become a parent, how much money do I have saved? Do I work the type of job that I want? Do I have money in the bank for when I go on maternity leave, or when my partner goes on maternity leave? Really sit and figure out the pros and the cons of staying and leaving, and then, and only then, make your decision. I feel like if it satisfies, I feel like if you run the numbers and you come up with a satisfactory answer, then you'll feel more comfortable making your decision, and not before. And it says, in the world, not of the world. They funny. I'll say this. If you're here for my advice on this situation, my dear Capricorn, this says to me, and it's just me with all this water in this card, it's an indication that you should try your hand at stepping into parenthood and family life more than the financial pursuits. I feel like, just for now, because I feel like the financial pursuits will be there. Money is always going to be there to be made. Maybe do the legwork that you can do up to a point, and then be like, I will have the child, or like I'll pursue my family life for a little bit and then I'll hop back into it. And I feel like that's more what this is going to, because it's like in the world, not of the world. It's kind of like enjoy, run in the waters, and it's kind of like a reflection of this Queen of Cups energy, where it's like, yes, the physical world is important. The mundane world has to be satisfied before the emotional, like that Maslow's hierarchy of needs. But you probably do have more money than you think, and money is not everything. You are in the world, yes, you have to operate by the rules set by the world, yes, but you can't act like the which one is the one that needed a heart? Now I'm like, yeah. But you can't act like you don't have a heart, because you do. Feed your heart this time. That's my advice to you. Okay, Aquarius. I think it's pretty funny that I have 2 Knight cards for you, but I don't feel like they're contradictory messages. I think, like, for my Aquarius out there, it's telling you to merge 2 things. I'll explain more, but let me actually go back. So we have the 7 of coins, and I kind of like this one. It's kind of like the other. It's got 6 coins on the vine, and it's almost like they're rotted, or like they're no good. And you have 1, golden coin on the ground, and he's waiting for the rest to like come in, and like they're not complete, they're not valid yet, almost, and he's waiting for them to become golden and fall to the ground. And I feel like for my Aquarius in this Sagittarius full moon, that you have really been waiting for your financial goals. It's a lot of coins showing up for this reading. You've been waiting for your financial endeavors, for your material world to crystallize, to become what you want it to be. And it's saying no more waiting. If you've been waiting for a while, maybe this waiting will end. But I feel like it will end due to your efforts. It's not like, oh, it's going to fall out of the sky. With this world card, it's the beginning and the end, right? Everything's coming full circle. You have all the elements. Like, this is the complete cycle. And I feel like whatever you were waiting on, it's dried up. It's coming to a close, and you're gonna see after a while that whatever you've been pursuing, like, it might have given you like that 1 golden coin, but the rest of them, they're rotted on the vine. Time to move on. Bring the cycle to a close and step into your Knight energy. They're on their steeds and they're pursuing new ventures. And for my Aquarius out there, you're showing up with Pentacle energy. So it's like, find a new financial endeavor. But then it's kind of like, how do I do that? You're going to have to step into the fire energy that this Sagittarius full moon is bringing with it. You're going to have to be bold, be brave, be willing to fail, but still give it that passion that projects deserve, and it'll work out. This is just the beginning, Sometimes we put all of our eggs into one basket when we wait for things to pan out, and then they don't. And that's not a fault of yours. Seeing the true you. Maybe you don't see yourself as being bold enough. I get the sense that this waiting has been from a lack of confidence. Night energy, yeah, it's kind of like adolescent. It's not fully developed, but it's also passionate, and it's willing to take risks. And you need that. You really do. And it's like, do you see yourself as capable of not only waiting on good things to come, but actively pursuing them, getting on your steed and going forward, becoming this brave young man, mastering a bull or riding a lion. Do you see yourself that way? See the true you. Aquarius is a very unconventional sign. It almost is poetic that you show up as an amalgamation of two kind of opposite energies in a way, like fire and earth. Like, those don't get on too well, but if there's any sign that can exist with, you know, two opposites going at one time, like, it's y'all. Like, Aquarius will always do things in their own timing, for their own reasons, and in their own way. You'll do it in a way that no one ever thought of doing it before, and guess what? That's a-okay. So see the true you. You are capable of being a go-getter. You don't just have to wait for opportunities to fall into your lap. Pursue them. Take on some of that fire energy. Really embody Sagittarius for the moment, and be bold and be brave, and really, you know, be kind of bombastic when you go into your next financial opportunity. I feel like it will be well received, even if you don't think right now that it will be. All right, last up we have Pisces. Pisces, my dear Pisces, you're really going to be feeling this fire energy from this full moon. If you haven't already been feeling it in the days leading up, there's a lot of arguments going on for you, and it's kind of like everyone wants to be on top. You have your side and they have their side, and no one's really trying to see where the other person is coming from. In light of the theme of this full moon, I really feel like this is not necessarily a physical pregnancy, but it's kind of like the spirit of the pregnancy depicted in the Empress. Like, she is at peace, she's in her garden, she is giving birth to the world that surrounds her throne. She's fertile and full of life and joy, and I feel like with it coming up for you in the reverse, it's like you've lost sight of that creative side of you, my Pisces. Maybe you've also been drinking a little bit more because of all of the commotion that has been going on around you, but not necessarily. But even if you haven't been drinking, it's still like you're masking a deep depression, and you're really looking at all of the cups spilled before you rather than the two behind you that are still upright. It's giving kind of like this defeatist energy. I feel like with this swords coming up at the end, the Ten of Swords, it's like the end to strife, the end to a bad argument, the end to a cycle of pain and heartache and going back and forth and not being sure. Like, I think for Pisces, the takeaway for you in this full moon and the weeks that come after is to stop arguing. If I can be entirely honest, it almost feels like with the arguments being the only thing coming through correctly, that's all that they're here for. And they might say that they don't want to argue, but that's not true. You're more than willing to walk away and to stop being sad and hurt and going around and around with this asshole. But like, you're going to have to be the one to walk away. You don't want to though, and that's why you haven't yet. But they're never going to see eye to eye with you. Or I won't say never, because I don't know. I don't own your future. I don't own their future. But it's kind of like, how long are you willing to wait for them to give you the emotional fulfillment and the peace that you want? That's all you want. You just want peace. You want to luxuriate. You want to be in your garden. You want to enjoy your life and not be stressed. And they don't want to stop stressing. You deserve better. You deserve way, way better. But it is up to you to decide. I can only tell you what I see for Pisces, but if this resonates with you and there's someone romantic or otherwise that's in your group or in your world right now and they're just not seeing eye to eye on you, like, you do not have to back down from every fight. You do not have to try and be like this peacemaker all the time. It's good to make peace when there's common ground and you all can, kind of see where the other person is coming from, but you deserve to have your needs met. And if this is like a cycle for you, it's time to walk away. That doesn't mean that you did anything wrong. That doesn't mean that they did anything wrong. Like, sometimes things don't work out, and that is okay. It's okay. It says follow your own rhythm. And it's kind of like this figure is turning away from me too. Kind of like how this Ten of Swords depicts a young man laying down his final sword and then walking off into the sunset. Like, it's time. If you sat down and joined this, video with the hopes that, you would get some guidance on what to do, my best advice for you would be to follow what makes you happy. This person doesn't want to be happy. They just want to argue. It fuels them. And you deserve better. Way, way better. But only if you think that you deserve it. It's up to you if you want to be done. That is my advice to you, Pisces. Thank you for sitting with me through this reading. Thank you for watching all the way to the end. If you liked your reading, please don't forget to subscribe, like this video, comment. Please, any engagement really, really helps with the algorithm and making sure that other people are able to catch these messages. Also, if you like my readings, you can find information down below about booking a private session with me. I am available most days after 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, though that might change with the summer coming up. So just stay tuned. Please don't forget to engage with me. I really, really enjoy reading for you guys. Have a lovely evening and sending you love. Thank you. Bye.